Hey, it's Friday and it's time to find your groove. Hey, everybody, this is Lynn from lynnburnett.com. I have an amazing guest today. Her name is Sara Speicher. She's almost Wonder Woman, I tell you. So this is for the moms out there who are using an honorable but not acceptable excuse of I can't do stuff because I've got kids. She is here to let you know that that is not a good excuse, and we're going to help you if you're wanting to be at home with your kids, but you're also wanting to create something for yourself. This is the show for you. So welcome, everybody. Find Your Groove is the place to help you get back on track, maybe find your thing. We're here to cover it all. We have fantastic resources. My guests always have amazing stories. Before we get started, I want to let you all know about a new podcast I started called Daily Hustle. They're super short, something for you to tune into every day to give you that boost of inspiration, motivation from the pioneers of personal development to today's sought after inspirational, motivational people like Brendon Burchard and Tony Robbins and all the other great people out there that really work to serve you to create a life that you love, that works for you, that helps you so that life isn't such a grind. So if you want to tune into my new podcast, Daily Hustle, you can go to my website at Lynn, that's Line, Burnett.com. Click on the Daily Hustle tab, and you can listen, download, whatever you like. You can find it all there. I'm so excited about it because it's fun. It's quick. You can download them all and listen to them. So let's get on because we've got some. I love speaking with this guest that I've met. I meet amazing people online, and you can trash social media as much as you want, but I meet fabulous, amazing people with stories that move you. And that's really what it's about, is stories that move us, that get us going. You know, we talk about if there's something we want to do, find someone who's done it to mentor you, to help you, to show you the way. And that's exactly what my guest today can help you with. Sara Speicher, I tell you, this woman does amazing things, and she's overcome postpartum depression after the birth of her second baby. She's built an amazing business for herself. She does so much, and I'm going to let her talk about that. I'm not going to read a long bio because I want to get to the juicy bits of what she does. So, Sara, welcome to the show.
Lynn, you're making me blush. Good thing you are not on the camera here because I look like a lobster right now. But thank you so much for your kind introduction.
Well, you know, we had a chance to connect a while back when we first met on social media. And, you know, you moved from another country and you have done so much. And I just think, wow, no excuses. So maybe just let everybody know a little bit of your background and, you know, you moving from a different country and why you came here and what you had set out to do that led you to starting a business.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's a great starting point to give them a background. So, like Lynn already mentioned, I moved, I think it was over 11 and a half years ago now, from a medieval town of 10,000 in Europe. To New York City to play basketball, Division I NCAA. One day I got a phone call from a coach offering me a position on a team. I was like, nope, I am not going. It's more than 30 minutes away from home. Are you kidding me? Moving across Atlantic? No way. Also, I barely spoke any English, but my parents, they encouraged me. They said, go give it a try. You can always come back in case you don't like it. Well, I'm still here. So after I finished my athletic career, I went on to stay in school to do for a master's degree. I have an MBA in marketing, and I think it's almost like a chip on my shoulder now because I'm so proud of it, being the first one in family to even graduate, much less having master's degree. Then I went on to, I think it was part of luck, to really get a job, my first full-time job at the height of that economic crash that happened.
Ugh, yes.
Um, it was quite a journey, and from there, I moved on to another company that, believe it or not, I met the owner of the company at one of the events at school, and I was like, I'm gonna work for this guy one day. His charisma, his energy, it was just, I don't know. I was like, I'm gonna work for this guy one day. It took me 3 years to get through the door, but hey, it happened.
That's
Um,
right. Dreams have no expiry date.
exactly. But the funny thing was that I realized we were not a good fit once I was there because I was not meant to sit in a cubicle, follow orders, which I should have taken as a sign when I started my VA business the same week I lost my job that I found out I was pregnant with my first daughter. I was like, okay, I'm going to do something on my own. I can start a VA business. Sounds awesome. I can travel overseas to visit my family. I can take care of the baby. Well,
Did
it
you
was
even
that.
know what that was? What that encompassed? What that was, having a VA business?
Not entirely. To me, it was just that exotic idea to be able to support other businesses, be there for them, utilize my skills, and have the flexibility, or at least
Okay.
I thought. What I did not know at the time, first of all, I sucked in taking orders, and I'm a big thinker. I'm a visionary. I'm a strategist, and not somebody who's good in handling details. I will see that there's something missing and I will point it out to you, the tiniest detail, but don't ask me to go do and copy paste and stuff like that, which, to defense of VAs, I think that the industry that you and I are in could have not survived without VAs, but not
Absolutely.
everybody's cut out to be one.
That's right. Yep. Yep. Oh, I
Um,
so agree.
yeah, it is a hustle and it's not what I envisioned having the freedom. You're pretty much a disposal of your clients because you're responsible for their businesses pretty much. And that was the part that also didn't sit very well with me. So what I did, I built a team around me. I was like, okay, I can now move on to the consulting role, which is something that I always aspired to do, and have a team of VAs to take care of my clients, which is what happened. Um, and then my second daughter came around and everything crashed pretty much.
Yeah. Yes.
um,
So let's
I,
just stop there for a second.
okay.
For someone who, when you said in the beginning, I'm not going across the Atlantic. That's more than 30 minutes away from home. But so had that always been, um, had you taken, that seemed like a big chance to you then. So had your life not been something that you had taken risks, or is
Very
certainty very
interesting.
much a part of your life?
Very interesting question. I think I'm in the category that says I love everything predictable until I'm bored, and then I look for the adventure until I long for everything being predictable again.
Mm,
I think it's one of those cycles. And this was another thing. The funny part, though, I have to say, when I was a kid, my grandma had a stack of postcards that her brother used to send her. He was a sailor. He traveled around the world from pretty much every major harbor in the world. He sent a postcard from. So I remember watching and looking at those postcards, sorting them through from the prettiest to the most boring, from the most exciting place to, whatever it was. And I was like, oh, if only I
yeah.
could travel one day. I would love to travel. And then her other brother and his wife went to Paris. I was like, oh, I wish I could go to Paris one day. Then we had family friends who moved to Canada decades ago and came to visit when I think I was 11. And I remember talking to them, oh, I wish I could go visit you on fly with the big airplane and stuff like that. Um, I never give it a lot of thought, but thinking back now, pretty much every single thing that I at one point said, oh, I wish I could,
Mm,
pretty much manifested.
nice. Well, it seems like once you took that big, huge leap, that you just did all kinds of things that, getting a master's degree and traveling such a far distance and starting your own business. And like it seemed like it was like, just once you popped the lid off of that, you just went you just spread your wings and just went for it.
Pretty much. I mean, it doesn't mean that there weren't any crash landings along the
Oh, for
way.
sure. For sure. Oh, yeah, we all have those, for sure.
Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I think it is one thing, and to me, it was very helpful to have that solid foundation. At first, my parents, who I knew were always there, and our bond became even stronger now that there's an Atlantic between. I mean,
Yeah.
things that I used to take for granted, just having them nearby, I now needed to learn how to verbalize them. So it was
Yeah.
a huge learning experience there, becoming more independent. Now with my husband, who is the most amazing man that a woman can ever ask for, and in-laws as well. I'm so lucky to be able to have them, these specific people, as my family. I think that was that is a privilege that I have that I know many, many others don't. And that
Hmm.
allowed me to really go full force for every single thing that I set out to do. Because I knew
Yeah.
that whatever it is, I have the cushion to land on, so I'm not going to break my neck if I fall, for example.
Absolutely. Did you ever think that you would have your own business one day? Was that I know for, a lot of us probably like our age, I grew up with you get a job and the entrepreneur thing, my parents weren't entrepreneurs. Well, actually, I can't say that. My dad was somewhat, but did you ever think you would be an entrepreneur, that you would start your own business, or did it come out of necessity of wanting to be home with your kids?
Yes and no, and here's why. um, Even though both of my parents eventually started their own brick and mortar businesses, as a teenager, I was too preoccupied with my own stuff to pay attention to what it really entails. But I did enjoy the lifestyle. They were able to take me to training camps. They were able to take me to practices. They were able to be there for me and my sister. The fact that mom pulled all-nighters to get things done, that was beyond me at the time.
Hmm.
I appreciate it now. Um, so I had that idea of what it would be like to have that freedom. Also, being an European, another thing that I never thought about until I came here, and I was in a position to now having to start thinking about what am I going to do when the baby comes? Because in Europe, you get a fully paid maternity leave for a year. Even as a solopreneur, there's a system in place that you can take a whole year off, you know. Here, when I
In
had a job
Canada
and I
too.
was exactly, and here when I was told, oh no, you can't, I think it was 6 weeks, if that, because the company, depending on the size of the company and stuff like that. I was
Holy.
appalled. I was like, that, you
Whoa.
have got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
We can talk for another hour just on that topic because I'm
I
so
know.
passionate
I
about it.
know. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It does not support the well-being of children as they grow up. It's crazy. So,
And it's not just, the, oh, you just want to stay home, be lazy and
yeah.
comfortable. No, I am bringing up a human being that's going to go on to supporting the whole economy
Yeah.
moving forward. When you and I retire, they'll be the ones working,
Yeah, exactly.
among other things. Anyhow, so
Yeah.
yes, I did have a dream of having a corner office with overseeing the Central Park once I realized that I'll be staying in New York, until the moment that I lost my job. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to create my own destiny there. I'm going to go on and see what I can do for myself.
Nice. So you did that, but after the birth of your second child, you had your VA business, you were getting everything ready, and so I was watching your live stream last night, and you were getting everything ready. Like whoa! I couldn't believe like you are so organized, and you got everything in place, and you were ready to go. But then after you had your child, then postpartum came, and that
Hmm.
changed everything for you. So I would imagine, like everybody, a lot of the things in our life that are the hardest parts, our lowest times, give us the greatest gifts. So what did that do for you? Because that changed everything, didn't it?
That definitely changed everything. First and foremost, it taught me that not everything can ever be in my control, because postpartum depression, even though it eventually passes, it was the first time I ever felt out of control. I knew what was going on, but I couldn't snap out of it. I couldn't change the course. So for a little bit, I felt angry, and then I felt sorry for myself, and then I started to blame everybody else around me, until I finally decided, you know what, I got to do something. I can't continue living like this for my girls who are watching me sit on the couch and feel sorry for myself every single day. And I was like, I can't do that. First of all. Second of all, I made a promise to my husband when we agreed that starting my own business would be the best way. I made a promise. This is what I'm going to build. This is how it's going to support us. This is going to be my contribution. And I had to keep up with my promise, because he's working his tail off to keep up his own part. I needed to counterbalance that. And I think it goes back to the mindset piece that I'm one of those women who, I don't want to ignite a fight here or any backlash, but I don't find fulfillment being a stay-at-home mom. Personally, I need more. And being a business owner, serving others, that's my more.
I get that. I really, really do get that. And for you saying about the backlash thing, yeah, because I think that is such a strong felt thing that if you should say your kids are not enough to fulfill you, that what kind of a mother are you? But we're also human beings. And if we need more, for some people, their dream is to have children, and that is enough for them. But I so understand where you're coming from that, we do want more. We love our children. We do anything for our children, but we're also human beings and with dreams and goals and desires. So I hear you, and there's a bunch of others as well. So I'm glad you said that because, it's true. I think it gives permission to other moms out there who also want more, desire more, gives them permission to do that.
I'm glad to hear that. And it's not easy to come to terms, especially when it's always that comparison game. And the social media, as beautiful it is, it allows you to connect with people. It's also one of the ugliest battles that are fought out there. Not only comparing yourself to others, but starting doubting yourself and stuff like that. But that's for another topic again. Yeah. Going back to your original question, with postpartum depression, what was the best thing that happened afterwards? I think I learned to look at things from where they are as opposed to from where they were not. Appreciate things and take care of myself. Once I realized that, hey, if I don't take care of myself, which meant at the time changing my lifestyle, changing my diet, change my energy levels, figuring out what it is that I can do as opposed to dwelling on any other thing that I couldn't. I think that was one of the greatest gifts. It brought me and my husband close together. And with the kids, I think my appreciation for them, and the older one especially, has a special gift of just, she's so caring that she would come to me and say, Mommy, are you happy? Let me make you laugh. And then she does something silly. I was like, I have to teach her that my happiness is not her responsibility, but it's so cute and adorable for her to be able to have that gift.
That compassion.
Exactly.
Which we're so lacking in this world.
Oh my goodness.
That's a whole other show too.
So,
so it was awesome.
That. And I think the wake-up call for me, though, I was on a call with somebody. I was trying to push everything through, pretending that everything was okay, and still selling my own old services, even though my heart, my soul, they were all screaming, no, don't do it. It doesn't feel right. I was still pushing.
Yeah.
I was on a call with somebody who was ready to sign up. And then my baby sounded in the background. And I don't know what triggered in her. She changed her voice, the whole demeanor on the call, the whole energy shifted. And it's like, I can't support you. You should be a mom and mom only. What kind of woman are you thinking you can do all of it? And something like that. I can't support you in that. She did apologize later on, admitted that something triggered. And I was like, you know what? I get it. It's still not your place to accuse people like this. However, it gave me it really made me think. I was like, oh my goodness, wow, what am I doing? What am I doing? I don't deserve that. I should create something that I saw it as a sign that the direction I was trying to go was not the right one. Let's put it that
Mm.
way.
Wow, that must have been a kick in the friggin' gut, though.
For a couple of days.
Yeah. But again, what a great thing that you know, can go, okay, let me look at this and what does it mean? So cool.
Thank you. Yeah, now it's much easier when it's way, over. I did end up sending her to another person who doesn't have a family. I don't know what ended up there.
Yeah.
Um, but it happens. And I think every single one of us has a story. There's objections, there's uphill battles, there's crash landings. Um, you feel guilty for doing something, you feel guilty for not doing something, you're frustrated, you're doubting yourself. It's all a part of a journey.
Yes. Yeah. And being an entrepreneur is damn hard. Damn hard.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, yeah, these things will come at you. They'll knock you down for a bit. But when you just are so focused on why are you doing it in the first place, and is it filling me up? How are you feeling about this? Then that can keep you going. That'll keep you, persevering and pushing through. You are so organized. Like, you are so organized. And I thought I was the organized queen, but holy cow, you are organized. You get a lot of things done. So for the moms out there that are listening and thinking, I think I'd like to start a business, but, I've had a child at home, or I'd like to start my own business because I'd like to be able to be at home and I want to have this freedom and this flexibility to be there for my kid, but I do want something more for myself. What are some things that they should do or have in place or think about or whatever before they jump into starting it? What do you suggest?
First and foremost, I would invite them to really ask themselves to think about every situation when they were rejected, they were all told no, when they were hit in the stomach, how they reacted. Were they able to get down, or did they wrap themselves under covers and couldn't get out of the bed for a week? Because I think that's going to be the first factor once you start a business. You have to be able to push through that. It's hard work, regardless of what everybody else out there is saying. What you see on the outside is not necessarily what's happening on the back end. The second part of the equation would be, I'm going to reference one of the books that I read a long time ago, Good to Great.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the hedgehog concept. It's a very simple, I don't even know what to call it. It has 3 specific fields where you start tracking what is it that you're the greatest at, if you're still playing with the idea of what you want to do. What can you do that no one else, can do it as good as you can? Second, what are you passionate about? What are you so passionate about that not only you live for, but you would die for? And then what are the things that people would buy? And then where those 3 intercept, that's kind of a pillar of what you can go out and build. Of course, then the whole logistics of the business, that's going to greatly depend on how you want to operate, what your family dynamics is like, especially when you work from home mom. That's going to depend. You can't go out to set out to build something that's going to require you to sit in your office 9 to 5. If your kids are at home, I don't know, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or even whole day long, depending on the revenue you want to bring in, depending on the expenses and overhead that you have to cover, those are all the little pieces that you have to start sorting out before you even do something.
Yeah.
And then based on that, second step, you start thinking about business model, and that will change. It's a trial and error. It's a journey. It's just like business on its own goes through life cycle, it's the same with you. Personally, you change, your priorities change, your desires change, and it's always a work in progress. And then after that, we can talk about marketing and sales and positioning and management and so on and so forth. But if you're just starting out, I think those would be the first couple of things to think about.
Now, if you're, say, a mom's out there listening and she already has a business,
Mm-hmm.
she has started a business, whether, it's a home-based product business or a service-based business, whatever it is, and she's got one or two kids and she's already started, but she's struggling. She's finding it difficult. She's having a difficult time managing it. What do you suggest then? What's going on because I think finding balance and what works for not only you, but also for your family, because they're affected by it. I mean, we are sort of the center of the family as moms. We're the universe of that. So if they're struggling, what are maybe some tips or something that they can do, or suggestions, or other than you, because you would be a fabulous resource. So for anybody that's listening, be sure to reach out to Sarah. She's done the testing and figuring out what works, and even what going through postpartum, like whoa. So, but what are some things little tweaks that they could do, maybe, or something that would help them that maybe they're missing that you think they might be missing?
Absolutely. For full disclosure, I'm one of those people that how can I say that without offending anybody?
Just say it.
The advice that I'll offer you here, it's not just based on what I've done, because I know what I have done might not work for you. But it is what I've seen through training, through experience, through learning from others, working with others, and seeing others do and not do and fail at and succeed at. So I think what some of the things that you can do is definitely start looking at how your business operates. Do you have systems in place? Do you have support in place to allow you to do what you are set out to do in a time frame that you have available, especially with kids?
So an example of a system.
Yes, example of a system.
Most basic.
It can be technology to automate things. It can be figuring out a way that you do one thing one time as opposed to 15 different times through 15 different steps. It could be that. It could be setting boundaries when you work with your clients.
I think that's big.
I see it all the time. It's like, oh, I just got an email from my client at 2 a.m. Do I respond now? It's Saturday. Well, that depends on the boundaries that you set for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
A rush project. Do you allow for rush projects? Do you don't? You make the rules. The second thing is going back to very, technicalities, the business model. That will determine too how much time you have and how you serve your clients. Also, a lot of times we get stuck on the financial part, especially these days when everybody seems to be making those 10K months, and if you don't, you're not worth enough, and so on and so forth.
I don't even want to get into that conversation because we'll get on a rant.
No. Yeah. But what I'd like you to do is to identify what your financial goals are, why, and what each number means. Break it down and reverse engineer it. See what you can do, what you have to do, and then tweaks. If you're undercharging yourself, up to your prices. If you don't have enough capacity to support clients one-on-one to meet your quota, well, maybe we can refigure your services. Let's say that you're a service provider. Bundle things up. You can up your price if you have a product, let's say. And also marketing. A lot of things that sometimes come out as a sales issue. Oh, I can't sell. No one can afford me. It really comes down to marketing. Are you talking to the right people? And one of the examples that I always give out is at the height of my postpartum depression, I was so desperate to get my business going. there's like, you know what? I'm going to see what everybody else is doing and I'm going to try to copy some of those approaches.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was reaching out personally to 4,000 people through social media. Yeah, the response was great. My calendar was packed with sales calls.
Oof,
I
yeah.
did not make a sale to save my life. I went from selling $21,000 packages to zero, hearing no after no after no. I started to resent everything. I was frustrated. I was fed up. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I'm not the type of person who, excelled in that. Once I figured out what worked for me, it was so much easier. So each and every one of you, look at your numbers. Your numbers tell a story. Your numbers will tell you what's working, what's not working, where your tweaks need to change, including marketing and sales.
And finding what works for you. I'm glad you said that because so many people are trying to do what other people are doing, and it may work for them, but it may not work for you. So, yeah, definitely, do it your way and know what you want, how much money you want, because maybe somebody only wants to make $1,000 a month. Maybe that would make the biggest difference for them, and it would allow them to do things with their kids or fund things for their kids, or maybe that's all they need to make the difference. And I think the biggest thing that a lot of people don't do, and maybe starting out in business, you may or may not agree, is I think that you had mentioned boundaries. They make themselves so available all the time. And that's what I think gets them so overwhelmed and flustered. And I think not only, moms that have businesses, but I think everybody, you make yourself available. I think putting that in place, it's even especially more important when you have a family and the little ones, is to have your schedule. What is your schedule? What are your open hours and what are your closing hours? What's a not, I'm going to ask you, this is one of the questions I want to ask you. What's a non-negotiable for you in your business with your family?
Oh my goodness. I never really thought about it. I'm pretty sure things came up. Non-negotiable for me and my business when it comes to family.
Yeah, like that. Like, no, like someone's asked you and you're just like, no, like not even considering.
I can recall the first time I've done it. I made such a big deal out of it that eventually now I don't even think about it. The first vacation that I took with my husband, alone, was saying, no, I am not available for a week. Regardless of, I'm sure you can take just this one project while you sip margaritas on a beach.
Yeah.
I think that was the first step that I've taken towards, no. Another thing, a couple of examples. Setting boundaries also comes down to, let's say, urgent projects, something came up. And I want to say that really depends on what is it that you do. If you're a neurosurgeon, a heart surgeon, any kind of surgeon, of course you have to run through the door when they need you. You can't say, oops, sorry, I have a dinner right now. A VA, IT, when businesses depend on your skills, you have a little less of a wiggling room. I feel for me, I created a business for myself to the point that, yes, my clients need me, but their lives don't depend on me.
Mm.
So if they have an emergency and they email me at 2:00 in the morning, I don't think I'm going to respond at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. I might be awake.
Yeah.
So I think those are a couple of things. And then to me personally, I think it's more the other way around. What are the boundaries that I'm setting for myself when the kids are around? So I don't get on a call or I don't get on a phone and keep checking when I should be present with them. I think that's the bigger issue, at least with me here. I don't have problems with clients. I have problems with myself setting boundaries for, okay, close the laptop, turn the phone off. Now it's time with your family. I think it's
hard when you love what you do.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Like, oh my God. Sometimes I'll hear, my husband say to my son's 15 now, where's mom? She's in her office. Like, it's so hard when you could just do it all the time. So, I mean, as great as that is, because there's so many people who don't love what they do and they just work for the weekends and they dread Monday morning. The downside is you could do it all the time.
all the
And you're
time.
thinking about stuff when you're with your family and you're brainstorming in your mind when you're it's hard to be present.
Exactly. And I think, when you asked earlier what are some of the things to consider, that's another thing. When you find the one thing you're supposed to be doing, it's when time stops. It's time
Yes.
to eat. Oh, really? Already?
Yeah.
It's time to go to bed. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That is just yeah. That when you've hit that sweet spot when you lose track of time. And that is time management. That's how you feel. And yeah, it's just incredible. So yeah, it is hard to shut that off and to have that, these are my working hours. And, if you want to answer an email at 2 a.m, great. If you want to do it, but if it's pulling you away and you constantly feel like you're at the mercy of other people, yeah, you got to tweak your business. You've got to set some boundaries in place. And
And I
for
think another
yourself, you'll
thing,
run yourself ragged.
exactly. Um, One thing that oftentimes gets missed is like, oh, just set a schedule for yourself. I think the first step before you can do that is to start saying no to things. What is that you will not do?
Mm.
And it ties into the marketing, figure out what works for you and what doesn't. It ties in with all different things, projects. I want to do speaking. I want to do this. I want to do this. Okay, let's put it on the back burner. Let's take one step at a time. Um, I turned out an amazing project that on paper it would be super lucrative. It was not the right time. I had other things that I had to focus on first in my business before I can expand myself even thinner to be able to devote my time to get that other project from, the startup.
Yeah.
So you have to learn to say no. And I think it comes down to the ability to focus, which is not the most awesome word, to be honest. But if you just start listening to all the biggest names out there, Darren Hardy was one of the first ones that brought it to my attention through his series of interviews. And he's like, you know what? Focus is the new currency these
Yeah.
days. It's not managing the time, it's managing your focus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because there's a gazillion things out there that will pull it away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a short-term focus and also long-term. What's the goal you're trying to build, to reach? What are the things that are going to support you getting there? And then nothing else matters. And I can tie it back to being an athlete. I can tie it into being a parent, being an entrepreneur. I think it goes across the board.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you say or think when you hear, a mom say, oh, well, I can't, I have kids and there's no way I could do this and I don't have time. And does it make you sad when you see moms not doing something and they really want to, but they
Um,
use their family or children as an excuse and you think, oh gosh, you could just don't wait?
I don't think it makes me sad, but I buy it less and less. At first, I was super compassionate, like, oh my goodness, poor you.
Yeah.
Let's sit down, let's take a break. I know it's super hard. Now I'm like, okay, you know what? It's your choice. Fine. You don't want it? Sure. They don't, then don't. If you commit to do something, you will do it. And it's the same with investing and investing time, investing energy, investing money into reaching your goals is the same thing. Now, I'm not saying that you must have all the resources available to you, the fingertips to be able to invest, but if you're committed to do something, you will find a way.
Mm, yeah.
Um, Now,
Absolutely.
it
Mom
could
or not.
be exactly. Now, I understand that, again, it's just like pain levels or commitment levels. It all depends on the type of person. My girls and I, we do everything together. I even flew to Europe with them by myself. One was 10 months at a time. That was fine. Another one was still a
Ooh,
toddler. We did that. I know women who are not able to fly over by themselves,
yeah.
or men, or I can't
Yeah.
deal with this. I can deal with. It all depends on the person too. or we go shopping, run errands. They are with me all the time. I know
Mhm.
people who drop kids off in the daycare and able to go to a grocery store.
Yeah.
So it all depends. I'm not here to judge and say, who's better, who's worse, because everybody has their own limits.
Yeah.
But it definitely comes down to, okay, know your limits. Now figure out what's going to allow you to overcome those limits and support you. If you don't
Hmm.
have the capacity, what do you need to put in place and able to get there?
Hmm.
Which again is a decision that you make. Are you in or are you out?
Yeah. And but some people too, they might not know exactly, um, they don't know what it is that they need to make things better or to make things happen. So, which is understandable. I mean, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, they may not know the systems. So you are a fabulous resource. So if you could let everybody know the best way to reach out to you, if they're going, okay, well, I'm struggling, I'm having a hard time, or I want to start a business and I don't know, and they've got some questions, best way for them to reach you.
There are two ways. If they spend a lot of time on Facebook, then Facebook ideally. In my private group, the Inner Circle of Kick-Ass Entrepreneurs,
Great
I am
group.
super active in there. I'm pretty
Yes, you
much,
are.
if it was a physical space, you could probably call it my permanent address.
Yes. Yes,
uh,
you are.
all the resources, videos, and templates, scripts, and then just the community, others supporting each other there. Another place where everything else lives is my website, www at saraoblakspeicher.com. I hope it's going to be in the notes because spelling is a little complicated.
Yes.
I did not think that one out. Um,
Yeah,
but
you
yeah,
have a free PDF there, 5 steps to fulfilling mom-friendly and profitable business. Um, Great resource for savvy mompreneurs who want to create, run, and grow their business while caring for their families. And it shows the different ways to make more money, work less, how to create a business that works for you, with you, on your terms, that is true to you, full of integrity. So be sure to go and check that out. That's a great resource and exactly what we've been talking about today.
yeah, so
And
come
the
get it.
Facebook.
Facebook and this and email anytime. You can get links. I'm super accessible when it comes to.
And super
Um,
helpful, and you're always doing videos, and you have to reach out to Sara because she is the sweetest person, and she's gone through it. She's always giving out some great tips. So no excuses. Like no excuses, people. If you want to do something for yourself, if being at home is important and having something for yourself is important, no excuses. Reach out to Sara because she's got a lot of great resources and always giving away some great stuff. So I will have that absolutely, all the links to all that. So it's saraoblakspeicher.com. One last thing before we sign off. Please, darling, finish this sentence for me.
uh-oh.
Sara Speicher is.
Always curious, I guess. Living a purpose. That living a purpose, I think, would be.
Nice. And an inspiration to not only me, but so many others. You've done a lot, and you're a shining example of if there's a will, there is a way. So thank you for that. I I think that's so needed. It's so needed in this crazy, crowded, busy, noisy world. You are a resource for many, not just moms, but for everybody. So thank you for that. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, that was such a pleasure. I wish we had more time to keep
I know we could
chatting.
just on and on. I know. I always run out of time with everybody because they're just, my guests are amazing. I just so amazing.
Um,
So thank you so much. I so appreciate it.
it was such a pleasure. And if anybody has any questions, let's talk. Let's figure out what you have going on, where you're trying to go, and what could be the best resources. I'm always happy to send them your way or send them, in making introductions. I
Mm-hmm.
think being a
Well,
resource, making introductions,
mm-hmm.
that's another
Your
thing
group
that
is
I love
great
doing.
for that. Yeah, your group is great for that. Well, thank you again, and I want to thank everybody for listening. Again, reach out to Sara. I'll have the links and everything that you can reach her at. I will be sharing the replay. If you know somebody, I'll be sharing that on Facebook. And, if you want to get more information, I will have all this on my website as well, linbrunette.com. Thank you again, Sara, and thank you everybody for listening. You know, if you want to do something, there is a way to do something. There's resources, there's people. If you don't know what it is you need, talk to somebody, reach out. There's no lack of resources in this world, and somebody knows what you need or who you need to talk to. So you can make it happen. And Sara's there, I'm here, and we both know a ton of people. So, you know, life is for living, and don't put a hold on your dreams, kids or no kids. So again, thank you everybody. Have a fantastic Friday. Have a fantastic weekend. And until next time, remember, you have the power. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye.